To enjoy this and other great episodes on Patreon, check out the link in the description and subscribe via the Black Kluge tier for full access to over 100 exclusive episodes. For those of you who would like some QF swag on Teepublic, t-shirts, magnets, mugs, what have you, also click on the link in the description.
He's in trouble.
Casey, come in here for a real quick second.
He needs an intervention. Did you ever sit down and have that talk with him you said you were going to have?
No, I didn't. I should. I want to do it in a serious manner. What is this I hear? Your car, the guy from the garage called and said that he was holding on to your car until you paid him $100?
No, I stole it back.
Yeah, what does that mean? You how did you steal your car back? You owe a guy $100?
No, I owed him more than that. I bounced the check, right?
Oh. How much?
It turns out it's $500.
All right.
So I go in there to get my car out, and I'm going to leave it. Now I'm going back to leave it back on Long Island because it cost me money, which I don't have to keep it here. And then I use it, right? So I get rid of it, and he says, no, you can't have your car until you give me $500 cash. So I said, look, the banks are closed. It's Saturday afternoon. Even if I had $500 cash, I couldn't get it for you anyway. Here's a check. Give me my car. He wouldn't give me my keys. So I
Do you blame him?
Yeah. I say, here's a check. Here you go. You got my Social Security number. You got all my information.
Bounce the check.
I don't care. It happens all the time. You send it back to the bank. It's a $15 surcharge. And I get nailed for it. And you do it again. It happens.
He wants his money. He's not going to give up.
So you do it like when you run a business. How you do it? You send it back in. You get another shot. You get two tries.
The guy is going to hold on to the car because he can't get his money.
No, he can't.
It sounds like he's had to do this far too many times for his own good to be that aware of it.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, he knows the system, and again, not to go deep into it immediately, but here's a guy who's doing a lot of work on the show, is living in New York, which is very costly for them, and we've got Robin and Howard sitting there, and neither one can, while this is going on, be writing out a check for $500 that they just slide them on the side and say, like, get it sorted.
Well, truthfully, it's not there. It really isn't. The onus is not on Howard. Robin specifically to give KC money he's supposed to have. But living in New York, and we found out from Jay Santi, our wonderful co-host and the host of Turnbuckle Tabloid, that when he interviewed KC said he got paid $23,000 a year as an associate producer of the show. And so associate producer was essentially fucking key grip. It was like gopher for the show. Provide all this stuff. We'll give you a title. You're not getting any more money out of it. And they want to blame it on, the radio station's cheap. Now, Billy West will say that. A lot of other people, Gary will say that. But ultimately, if you've got an 800-pound gorilla in Howard Stern and he's got this big ratings juggernaut, we've said this for years. Why can't you make sure your staff can use their energy on the show and don't have to focus on living day to day because they make enough money and that worry is taken away from them?
Yeah.
So,
and he's not only there doing like Howard's baked potatoes and hot water and all these other things, but he's also a character. So he's in a way an actor, and he's, giving those bits to the show as well. So he has an actual job on top of doing these other things. So he should be getting paid two
as a performer.
Positions. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be, and it should always have been like a sharing policy, like some kind of profit sharing system. Like if you're on the air and this is airtime, like if your airtime is worth this much for an advertiser and I'm a performer on that show, why shouldn't I be getting at least half of what the advertising money would be for that slot, spot? You know what I mean? So I'm not saying, if the advertisers pay $5,000 for 30 seconds, he should be getting paid 5,000 times, 20 minutes, like 10 times, 10, because we're dividing it in that metric. But there should have been no reason for them to say, look, just give him the standard minimum you need to live in New York, whatever that would be at that time, 70 grand, 80 grand,
Oh, and then weren't Jason and Will sharing like a 1-bedroom bathroom in the kitchen apartment at this time?
Yes. It was like a bachelor pad that they were sharing. And in New York, you've seen those cubicles. You've ever seen those tour videos on YouTube? They're amazing.
Like it's, like your bathroom is literally in your kitchen, and you've maybe got a wall that acts as a bedroom, and that is it. And you're paying a ridiculous amount. And two grown men on one of the, at times highest ranking show are living in a slum.
Yes.
Like
and if you're lucky to have a bathroom inside your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's brutal. And so we're going to continue, guys. But this is like financial anorexia they're forcing on him.
He's got my address. He's got all my information. I don't care.
He's got all his collateral.
I don't give a crap. You think he's the only one that did?
How did you get your car back?
So I go to my girlfriend. I said, "Look, I got a spare key next to the mic."
His girlfriend is beautiful. I can't believe they're like Bonnie and Clyde now.
No, she's great. She was so good. She was so good at it too. I'm like, all right, go back into the apartment. Just give me the key. Don't let anybody see it. I had an extra key. Put it in my pocket, and then go back there, and I'll pick you up in a couple minutes. So she goes back, and she gives me the key, right? So I yell at the guy, and at this point, I'm ready to kill him. He doesn't speak English or anything like that.
Right.
So she goes back up there, and he's got me blocked in. So as soon as he goes back to help another customer, I run back there, I get in my car, and I peel out. I see this guy running after me and stuff. Hey, come back. I'm like, yeah, see you later, pal.
Wow.
I got my girlfriend, and I'm gone.
How much money do you owe this guy?
$500.
Here's $500.
No, get out of here. I ain't exactly.
No, I mean, what are you doing? You owe the guy money.
So what? Big deal. I owe a lot of people money.
You'll pay me back.
No.
Here.
I wouldn't either. So
yeah,
so the thing is, we've heard many times over the years these guys trying to do all kinds of side hustles, and I've always said, how does Howard not understand? It makes his show look like shit that these guys are scraping, and like, oh, he thinks it's fodder, but what it's doing is making him look like a cheap piece of piece of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even when at this time, and even now, people will say, well, they should feel fortunate to just be on the show.
Right.
No, that's not how it works. That's like influencers saying to people, give me your product for free and I'll talk about it. No,
yeah,
that's my hard work. Like, I'm not getting exposure isn't putting bread on my table. Money in my wallet puts bread on my table.
Yep.
You know, it's nice. The exposure's great. And sure, some of these guys have been able to spin that into a little bit of side money, but that's not why they went on the show.